Whenever you're ready.
Okay, this is the syllabus. I'm going to the picture of the actual tentative schedule. We are in week number 17. I have to cover ANOVA 12.1. And next week, we have final exam given to you on Wednesday at 12 a.m. due next Thursday, 11:59 p.m. Chapter 1 through 9. Remember, chapter 9 is everything is with the calculator and p-value method. Then section 10.2, linear regression, and 12.1, ANOVA. And I'm collecting homework 7, part 2, 9.5, 12.1. Last homework set. Some of you have given me homework 7, part 2, some have not. That's fine. The due date for that homework is Thursday, December 14th. You have access to the final exam review. It is on modules week 16 and solution to the review module week 17. Any question about the final exam? Both parts are given as one. Part 1 and part 2, both of them are given as online version. And I send you the last announcement on Monday about the final exam. So you have final exam. And also, I'm going to send you one more announcement regarding final exam office hours, which is the same hours that I have, but there is no link for it. I put the link for office hours in the announcement, either today or tomorrow for the final exam week.
But the final is only one link, right? There's
One
it's
link,
not
yes,
two. Okay.
one link. So you go to modules and you click on, there's only one page for final exam page. One link, 200 points.
Mm-hmm. And we will be modifying the tutoring schedules for that. So there will be tutoring available to you that week. So just let me know.
Yeah, wait for 2 announcements. Actually, maybe 3 announcements. On Monday of next week, I'm going to send you another announcement to remind you that you have, again, final exam on Wednesday and Thursday. This week, I'm going to send you another announcement about final exam office hours and Shauna's tutoring hours in the announcement.
So if you have a preference, thank you, Alina. I see your name here. If you have a preference about tutoring hours for next week, go ahead and drop me an email in Canvas, or you can use my Gmail address if you prefer. And I will try and accommodate that because I would like to help as many of you as possible if you need it.
Okay, let's look at the section 12.1. Okay, 12.1, analysis of variance, one-way ANOVA. ANOVA, AN is for analysis, O is for of, VA is for variance. One-way ANOVA. Okay, here in chapter 7 and 8, we found confidence interval and we went through hypothesis testing when we had one population for parameter mean, proportion, variance, and standard deviation. In chapter 9, we look at 2 population. We had 2 population and our parameters were mean, again, proportion and variance and standard deviation. In some of the section, we did hypothesis testing, and we calculated confidence interval. For some of the section, only hypothesis testing. ANOVA is, we have three populations. We have three populations, and we are working on parameter mean. So when F-test is used to test a hypothesis concerning the mean of three or more populations, the technique is called analysis of variance. Analysis of variance. So we are working with parameter mean to do a hypothesis testing for three or more population. We're only going to look at three population. The F-test to compare mean is always right tail. The F-test to compare means is always right tail. In most statistical application of the F distribution, only the right tail is of interest, because most applications are testing to see if the variance from a certain source is greater than the variance from another source. So the researcher is interested in finding if the F source is greater than 1. That's why we use the right tail. What are the conditions and assumptions? The population from which the samples were obtained must be normally or approximately normally distributed. This is the same assumption we had in chapter 7, 8, 9. The samples are selected randomly, the same assumptions again. The samples must be independent of each other. Again, same assumption. If you combine condition 2 and 3, we're going to get SRS, simple random sample. The variances of the population must be equal. The variances of the populations must be equal. 4 assumptions. Why do we call it analysis of variance? Although means are being compared in this F-test, variance means difference between values are used in the test instead of the means. We are still using mean, but we are using the difference between values. Two different estimates of population variance are made. Two different estimates of the population variance are made. The first one, you have differences between group means. If you have 3 populations, you find the mean of first group, mean of the second group, mean of the third group. Then you find the mean of group 1 and 2, 1 and 3, group 2 and 3. The difference between group means. And this is called between group variance. Between group variance. We call it between group variance in this textbook. But the other textbook, sometimes they use it factor, sometimes they use explained. So we find the mean of each group, and we find the difference between mean of the groups. Mean of group 1, group 2, group 1, group 3, group 2, and group 3. Then we also find the difference among values within same group. So we find the difference between the raw data in each group. Difference among values within the same group. So the difference between raw data in each group. We do that for each group. We find the difference between raw data in each group. And that's called within group variance. Within group variance. So we are working with the still mean, but we have two types of variances. Some textbook for the second bullet for within group variance is called either error or unexplained group variance. Okay. The following hypothesis should be used when testing for the difference between 3 or more means. We have still 5 steps. For step 1, you give me null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. The null hypothesis is that the means are equal. So this is the way you write your null hypothesis. You write H sub 0 colon, then you write mu1 equal mu2 equal mu3. If you have 3 groups, if you have more groups, then mu3 is equal to mu4 and so forth. You can use either subscript 1, 2, 3. If you tell me which group is 1, which group is 2, which group is 3. Now, the alternative hypothesis, there is one sentence that you have to write it all the time. This is the statement that you write for H1, alternative hypothesis. You write H1 colon. This is the statement I want to see in section 12.1 for H1. At least one mean is different from the others. I do not want to see any other statement for H1. This is the statement I want to see for H1 in 12.1. At least one mean is different from the others. Like chapter 8 and 9, sometimes the claim is null hypothesis, HO. Sometimes the claim is alternative hypothesis, H1. Now, we're going to use, again, in this chapter 12, p-value method. So for p-value method, second step is test value. Third step is p-value. Compute test value and p-value using the following steps. We are doing it with the calculator. You enter your raw data in list 1, list 2, and list 3 if you have 3 groups. If you have 4 groups, you go to list 4. But in this class, I'm only going to give you 3 groups, not more than 3. So don't worry about group 4. Press the stat, move the cursor to test, like as usual. Choose H for ANOVA. If you have 84, but if you have 83, use F for ANOVA. ANOVA is the last test under the test section. ANOVA is the last test under the test section. Type each list followed by comma and with parentheses. So when you click on ANOVA, then the word ANOVA with a parenthesis next to it, open parenthesis, goes on your home screen. Okay, so ANOVA, the word ANOVA with a parenthesis next to it on the open parenthesis goes to your home screen. Then after the parenthesis, you have to enter L1, comma, L2, comma, L3, then close your parenthesis. Then press enter. Now, since I'm not going to look at traditional method, I'm going to skip slide 7. Okay. Slide 7 is if you had to do a traditional method, but we are not doing traditional method in this course. And so I'm going to skip slide 7. Slide 8. Step 4, you have to make the decision to reject or not reject null. You do that by comparing p-value with alpha. If p-value is less than or equal to alpha, it means that your p-value is in the alpha region, which is a rejection region. You're going to reject null. But if p-value is larger than alpha, it means your p-value is in the non-alpha region, which is non-rejection region. You do not reject null. Then last step, you summarize your result. I gave you the outcome of hypothesis testing. There are 4 outcomes that you have to give me one of them, depending on what is your claim, if you rejected null or not. If claim is H1, then if you reject null, there is enough evidence to reject the claim. If you did not reject null, there is not enough evidence to reject the claim. If your claim is H1 and you rejected null, there is enough evidence to support the claim. If you did not reject null and claim is H1, there is not enough evidence to support the claim. Let's look at the example. The statistic classroom is divided into 3 groups: front, middle, back. The instructor noticed that the further students were from him, the more likely they were to miss class or use an instant messenger during the class. He wanted to see if the students further away did worse on the mean of their exam. Use p-value method with alpha equal to 0.05. A random sample of students in each row was taken. The score of those students on the second exam was recorded. Students sitting in front, these are their score on exam 2. Students sitting in the middle, their score on exam 2. Students sitting in the back, their score on exam 2. So the teacher is claiming that the students sitting in the back, the average of their exam 2 is worse than the students sitting in front or middle. Now, before I go to the next slide and introduce what the parameter and so forth is, let me enter the raw data in my calculator. Let me stop sharing, bring my calculator out. Okay. Do you have these numbers in front of you, Shana?
No, but I can grab them from the slide if I need to. Hold on.
Okay, I will give you some time to grab them.
Yeah, let me exit 4. Get the homework. Where's the homework?
Are you copying them down?
No, I'm looking for the
PowerPoint?
PowerPoint slide. Then let me grab it from the other. I'll download it again from here. Modules.
Yeah, module.
I'll grab it from there. I thought I had it downloaded, but what I downloaded was the homework, not the
Mm.
not the PowerPoint. So let me grab that. 12 and here it is. Okay, now my internet's being slow. Okay, okay. I think we're there. Let me see. Okay, I have it. Let me
Okay.
just get to where you are. There we go.
Slide number
I
10.
have, yep, I have it.
Let me share my calculator.
Would you like me to read you the numbers?
Yes. First, I click the stat key. I go to edit. And number 1 has to be highlighted. I had some number in list 1 and list 2, so I went to a stat. I quit this window. I went to a stat. I pick clear list. I put L1 and comma L2. Then I press enter. The data that I had in list 1 and list 2 are gone. Now, can you give me front?
Yes, 82,
Okay.
83, 97, 93, 55, 67,
Yes.
53.
How much?
53.
53.
Yes, 53.
How about the student sitting in the middle?
83,
Okay.
78,
78.
68, 61, 77,
Okay.
54, 69, 51, 63.
Okay. Sitting in the back.
38,
Okay.
59, 55, 66, 45, 52, 52, and 61.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. So the teacher is claiming that the students sitting in the back, their average is worse than the students sitting in front and middle. Okay. So I'm going to quit this window. I'm going to go back to the calculator. I have my raw data in the calculator already. So I'm going to stop sharing, go to my PowerPoint. Okay. So what is the parameter? Parameter is the mean, mu. I'm doing exactly the same steps that I did in chapter 8 and 9. Okay. Step 1, we have to give you HO and H1. The ANOVA does not test the mean, doesn't test the mean is less than another one, only, okay. In the ANOVA, for H1, we are not going to say mean is less than or equal or greater than or equal, okay? We are just going to say all the means are equal, okay? So, first of all, the claim is that the teacher claiming that the students who are in the back, their exam is worse than students in front and middle, sitting in the middle. So H1 is the claim. So you write H1, at least one mean is different from the others. All the problem in this section, ANOVA, H1 is exactly the same sentence. At least one mean is different from the other. That's the claim. I write H1 first. Then I write my HO. HO is instead of using subscript 1, 2, 3, I'm going to use mu sub f. F stands for student sitting in front, equal to mu sub m. M is for student sitting in the middle of the classroom. B stands for student sitting in the back. So mu of f equal to mu of m, mu sub b. Okay, that's my step 1. And you are not going to say right tail, you are not going to say left tail tutor. F test is always a right tail. So that was a step 1. Any question?
We do have a question, Professor. Somebody
Yes.
is asking whether H1 will always be the claim.
No. No. Sometimes HO is the claim.
It depends on how the problem itself is worded.
Yes.
It's just that H1 will always be worded like what you see on the screen.
Yeah, for ANOVA. For ANOVA, you always write H1 as at least one mean is different from the other. Sometimes it is the claim, like this example, sometimes it is not. Depending. If they say all the means are equal to each other, the claim would be HO. Okay.
And also just to point this out, because sometimes students have this question, the sample sizes don't have to be the same for each group.
Yes, they don't.
So if you have different sample sizes as we do here, that's not a mistake. You can still perform the test if the sample sizes are different. Because we're not testing that, we're testing the variation between the groups as part of our calculation to see if the means are different or not.
Yes, the thing is here we had 3 groups. We have 2 types of variance. One is you find the mean of each group, then you find the difference between means. Again, mean of front, mean of front and middle, mean the difference between mean of mu f and the mu m, then mu f and mu b, then mu f and mu b. So difference between mean of each group.
Mm-hmm.
Then the other variance difference is you find the difference between the values in each group. Okay, the difference. That's why you have variance. It's called variance.
And believe it or not, the calculator does all those calculations for
Yes,
you.
for you.
So you don't have to worry about how it's done. The calculator's doing all that, and it gives you your test statistic and your p-value. And we use those to perform our hypothesis test and draw our conclusion. If you take another statistics class somewhere else, maybe in the future, maybe you'll see some of those formulas that they actually use.
Okay. In if any of you are interested to see for chapter 9 how you are finding, if you had to use traditional method, you can email me and I can send you the steps to find, because for traditional method, we don't calculate p-value, we calculate critical value, and I can show you my PowerPoint how to find critical value, which is a long process.
It's not something that you're going to be responsible for in this class, but we do sometimes have students who've seen that, particularly if you've taken another class elsewhere. You may have seen that, or at least been exposed to the formulas. Some of them are in the book as well.
Yes.
If you've read the chapter for that.
Okay, let's look at step 2 and 3 for the p-value method. First of all, what type of, you have 3 population, we are testing the mean. So we're going to use F test. So you're going to enter, I already entered raw data in list 1, list 2. I'm just going to repeat the steps you have to go. You go to stat, you pick F, you go to test, and you pick ANOVA. Then ANOVA with the parentheses goes on your home screen. Then you write L1, L2, L3, close the parentheses, press enter. Let me show you that. Remember, I enter my raw data in the calculator already. Okay. Do you see my calculator?
Yes, we can.
I'm part of the lesson.
No,
No?
we're seeing your calculator and your
Okay.
keystroke history. So we
Okay.
can see
Let
both.
me clear that. So you click the stat key. You on the top row, you pick test. Under the test, ANOVA is the last test in under test menu. And instead of going down to the second page and go down again, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to go up. Because if I click up, when I highlight one, I go to last item under the test. Here it is, ANOVA. So you can either click down arrow key, go to the next page, second page, and go still down, or click the up arrow key, take you to the last item, okay? I'm gonna, H is highlighted, ANOVA, and press enter. ANOVA with the open parenthesis goes in your home screen. Then I enter my list name, list 1, comma, list 2, comma, list 3, and I'm gonna close my parenthesis. Then press enter. The first number, 5.8961, is your test value. Then P equal to 0.0093 is your P value. So I have copied these, the two numbers, the first two numbers in my PowerPoint. So this is a step 2 and 3. So test value is 5.8961, and P value is step 3, 0.0093. Step 4 is I have to decide to reject or not reject null. So I compare my P value with alpha, which was a 0.05. Step 4. A P value 0.009. I write them on the left side, alpha on the right. Then I see that alpha is larger, so the amount of my inequality is toward alpha. Then I read this sentence from left to right, P value is less than alpha. So I'm going to reject null. So I rejected the null, and my claim was H1. I used the outcome of hypothesis testing. Claim was H1, and I rejected null. So I write there is enough evidence to support the claim. When I was grading your quiz number 7, some of you did not write this sentence completely. So on the quiz, I ask you, underline is or is not. Some of the students circle is, and I said underline reject or support, and some students either circle support or circle reject. That's not what I want. I want one of these 4 sentences exactly. I want a complete sentence. Do not circle is or is not. Do not circle reject or support. Okay. Any question? That's end of example number 1. Okay, let's look at another example. Extra, we are not going to look at because in this, I have shown you how to find critical value. You are not responsible for that. Okay, second example. The amount of sodium in milligrams in one serving of a random of 3 different kinds of foods shown below at alpha equal to 0.05, is there sufficient evidence to conclude that the difference in the mean sodium exists among to conclude that a difference
In mean sodium amounts.
amount exists among condiments, cereal, and dessert. Use p-value method.
Mhm.
Again, the claim is that, again, at least one mean is different from the other. Still claim is H1. Not all the time. Again, not all the time. Depend what the claim is. You have to read the sentence. Claim sentence for each problem. This is the raw data. Again, the parameter is the mean. Okay, before I tell what the claim, I think I told you the claim, look at first step. Let me enter the raw data in my calculator. You have this slide, Shana, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Do you want me to read them to you?
Not yet. Let me bring my calculator. Okay, let me clear this screen. I'm going to click the stat key. If I edit, enter, I have raw data in 3 of my lists. So let's clear this. Let me show you. You click stat. Under edit, you pick number 4. Press enter. I want to clear my list 1, comma, list 2, comma, list 3. Press enter. Now all 3 lists will be cleared at the same time. It says done.
Don't forget to press enter so you see the done message.
Yeah, you have to see. If you don't see the done message, you haven't done anything.
Yeah,
So,
you will see it and it will still be there.
yeah. So let's clear that. So you're going to go to stat, edit. Can you give me?
Yes, I can.
The first
condiments.
column?
Condiments 270, 130, 230, 180, 80, 70.
80. Okay, 80.
180,
70.
then 80, then 70, then 200.
Okay. Next group.
Cereals 260,
260,
220, 290, 290, 200, 320, 140.
done.
Desserts is 100, 180, 250, 250, 300, 360, 300, and 160.
Okay, you see that the raw data for condiment and cereals the same. I have
the number of raw data is
the
the
number
same.
of raw data for each group. I have 7 raw data for list 1, list 2. But when I go to group 3, I have 8 raw data. So they don't have to be the same. Okay. Okay. I'm going to wait on this. Let me write my step 1. Then I'm going to go back to my calculator and show you the steps. Let's quit from this window. Stop sharing. Okay. The same thing as I did with your quiz, I will do it with the exam. I ask you to tell me what is the parameter. You write the name and the symbol, like mean, mu. Proportion, P. Variance, sigma square. Standard deviation, sigma. Okay, you write the name and the symbol. What was the claim? Again, the claim is H1 in this case also. Again, one more time, the claim is not always H1. Okay, so far, majority of our claim in this chapter and chapter 8 was H1. Well, you write at least one mean is different from the others claim. What is the null? Mu sub condiment equal to mu of cereal, mu of dessert. Again, you can use mu1, mu2, mu3. You have to tell me which one is group 1, which one is group 2, which one is group 3. Just if you just write mu1, mu2, mu3, I don't know which one you're talking about. So tell me, like, cereal is group 2, and so forth. Dessert group 1, the other one group. Dessert group 3, and condiment group 1. Okay. Now step 2 and 3, I'm going to go to the calculator. Okay, I enter my raw data. So I click the stat key. On the first row, I pick test. ANOVA, because I'm testing, I have 3 groups and I want to check, we are talking about the mean of the 3 groups. So I'm doing ANOVA. So instead of going down the list, I go up. It takes me to the last item in the test menu, ANOVA. ANOVA with the open parenthesis goes in your home screen. Then I write L1, comma L2, comma L3. If you have other lists, write L4, L5, L6. Close the parenthesis, press enter. The first F is your test value, P value. And I put these numbers in my PowerPoint. Any question how you get this window? Anyone? Okay, let me stop sharing. So, again, I already showed you this. My test value was 2.3985. You don't have to write this. I'm just writing these steps for you. When you go back, after this meeting, if you have to study this lesson, let's say tomorrow, you have the steps. Test value F 2.3985, p-value 0.1178. Okay. Step 4, I have to decide to reject or not reject null. I compare my p-value. I write it on the left, alpha on the right, 0.05. I say that by 0.1178 is larger. So the amount of the inequality is toward the p-value. And I read the sentence from left to right, p-value is larger than alpha. It means that my p-value is not in the alpha region, is a non-alpha region, which is non-critical region. So I do not reject null. Now, last step summary. I use my hypothesis testing outcomes. Claim was H1, and I did not reject HO. Then you write this sentence completely, the lower left box. There is not enough evidence to support the claim. Don't forget underlying is not and support. Any question?
Not seeing any so far.
Okay. This is, don't worry about this. This is, this slide and is, if you had to find critical value, if I had to ask you to find critical value, then you had to have a program for calculating inverse F, which we are not using. So don't worry about this slide. Okay. I'm done with the 12.1. Two example, the process is not difficult at all. The only difference is with this section and chapters 7 and 8 for hypothesis testing. Chapter 8 and 9 for hypothesis testing is that writing your H1, HO is mu1 equal mu2 equal mu3, but H1, you have to write this sentence, at least one mean is different from the others. I will not accept if you write mu1 not equal mu2 not equal to mu3, because we are not saying all the mu's are different. We are saying at least one of them is different from the others. Maybe two of them are different from each other. Maybe one is different from the other two. So at least one mean is different from the others. Any question?
One thing that came up for some of you this week, when some of you were doing the homework and were also in some of the other sections, is the rule for comparing P to alpha. So if the p-value is lower than alpha, right, that means that your p-value fits in the rejection region, essentially. It's small enough.
It goes to the right tail or left tail. If p-value is less than alpha, it means your p-value is in the right tail, right tail. And that's a rejection region.
And so that's what causes us to reject it. It's suggesting that our values are far away from what we hypothesize, and so that leads us to reject it. If we have a large p-value like we do here, that suggests that we're not as far away from
what we are hypothesizing.
And so that wouldn't lead us to reject the null, because it would tend to reinforce that. So that was something that came up this week. We do have a video on ANOVA as well. I'm sure some of you have watched it already. It got a lot of watch time this week, so some of you were probably working on the ANOVA homework. Don't forget, if you came into the meeting after we started, some of you still don't have your name in the attendance. If you haven't put your name in the chat, please do so.
Okay, let me see. Let me open the Power website. Again, your final exam is next Wednesday and Thursday. Your final exam would be available Wednesday, 12 a.m. So again, one more time, before I go to bed on Tuesday night, I active your link. So you have all day Wednesday, all day Thursday to finish final exam. I'm not accepting anything late because I have a due date to submit final exam, final grade. So I don't want to lose the due date. So do not give me even your homework 7 part 2 late. Everything has to be on time. There are only 2 sections, 9.5 and 12.1. Okay. And your exam covers chapters 1 through 9, then sections 10.2 and 12.1. Any question? And you have the review and solution to the review on your modules, week 16 and 17.
Are you going to take questions from the review at this time?
If they have any question, yes. Otherwise, no.
Does anybody have any questions about the review that you'd like to go over right now? If not,
then we will finish with the section early today. So any question? If you don't have any question and you put your name in the chat for attendance, that's all for today. Good luck. Study hard. Your final exam is 200 points next week.
Happy holidays, everyone. Please email us.
Yes. And by the way, I'm going to have an office hours. I'm going to I have the same hours of office hours as usual for final exam week, but I put the new link in the chat. as an announcement.
She's gonna send you guys a new link for her office hours next week. If
Either this week or next week, probably this week, either
Okay.
today or tomorrow, link
Today or
for
tomorrow.
office hours of the final week, and also wait as an announcement for Shauna's new tutoring hours for final week.
I'm going to also include, you can email me through Canvas, but I'm also going to include my Gmail in the chat because I know sometimes that is easier for some of you. So you're welcome to email me there as well. But please, if you're having any difficulty with the review, especially the solutions, as Professor Nikdel said, are posted already. But if you have any questions about any of the review, or if you're looking for something on the videos, because we've had a lot of videos this semester and you can't find it, feel free to email me and I'll help you with that. Otherwise, stay safe, everybody. Stay
Yes,
healthy.
and by the way, the work on your final exam should be similar to the work of the final review solution.
We have somebody
And
with
nice
their mic
teaching you
open.
this semester. Good luck, study hard, so you end up with a good passing grade.
We have somebody with their mic open. Go ahead. Is that we did?
No. Okay, have a great week 17 and week 18. Study hard, and after the final exam, have a great holiday and great Christmas and other holidays.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. If you have any question, please don't leave.
If you have questions, you don't have to leave.
Yes.
If you do not have any more questions, you can feel free to exit now.
You can leave. Okay.
Everybody's here.
Yeah, everybody's here. Adam, Alina, Elizabeth,
and
Gabriela, Jay, any question?
Yeah, I'm just waiting if somebody's gonna ask. Maybe I'll.
It's okay, Elizabeth. We left our fangs at home. What can we help you with?
Yes.
No. I'm just lingering on in case somebody asks. But
oh, okay. You can linger, but I think we're fine. Do you have a particular question about something?
No, the exam guide looks like it'll be helpful. Thank you, Professor.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really liked your class. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, you guys enjoy your holidays.
You too.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Elizabeth.
you. Bye-bye.
We'll see you soon.
See you.
Bye-bye.
I had a question.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So we had a quiz 2 weeks ago and I never turned it in. You told me I could turn it in late, but I never had turned that one in.
You have not turned anything late before?
No, I haven't.
Okay, just send me your quiz 7 ASAP.
Okay, and last week it wasn't letting me turn it in through Canvas. I'm not sure if
No, you
got it
cannot.
through my...
After the portal is closed, you cannot send it to me through Canvas portal. You have to inbox me.
Oh no, last week it was on time. It was around 11 before it hit 12 o'clock, 11:59. So I just emailed it to you.
Okay, you already emailed
It was
me?
something with the Wi-Fi. I don't know if it was my Wi-Fi.
It didn't let her turn it in. So
Okay.
she said.
Do you have any grade for your quiz 7?
Let me double check.
If it is 0, I haven't seen the quiz.
Let me just double check.
Because she just finished grading recently. So yeah, for those of you who have discrepancies with your grade book, she just finished grading. So take a look at your grades in the
Last
grade
week
book.
was the 30th.
Don't look at
or
last week. Just look at your grade sheet. Do you have any grade for quiz 7?
Okay, oh yes, I do.
Okay, then I have graded already, so
Okay.
don't worry about it.
Thank you. So I'm gonna just turn in quiz 6 because I have not.
Okay, then if you have a
Wait.
grade 0 for quiz 6, if you have
Yeah.
a copy of quiz 6, just